Upgrades.
Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Sammy Legger here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys another movie review. This is in celebration of Black History Month. I kind of secretly nudged my first thing. This is going to be every day. I'm going to have a TV show or movie that's celebrating the amazing cultures, Black cinema and Black excellence and Black television media. I'm talking about, for this one, Meteor Man. Meteor Man was directed by Robert Townsend, but the stars in this. What movie has Robert Townsend, Don Cheadle, James Earl Jones, Eddie Griffin, Robert Gluman, Carla Gibbs, Bill Cosby, Sinbad, Luther Vandross, Tommy Listener, John Witherspoon, Biz Marquis, Big Daddy Kane. Like, the list goes on and on and on, and it's such raw talent in this. But let's go ahead and kind of talk about what the movie was. So Jefferson Reed, he's an academic teacher. He's just trying to make it, but he's in a neighborhood that's dealing with a lot of crime that's on the ramp up because of the gangs in the neighborhood. The gangs are feuding, and it's causing a lot of the people that are a part of the city council to be like, you know, we got to kind of stand up for our neighborhood. We need to go and do that. And he really at the time didn't care. He kind of started his excursion of just trying to stay into the sidelines. Like, if there was a fight, like, he kind of encouraged his class or students to not engage in fights or anything to do, like, they need to run. And so, you know, opens up, first thing he does, of course, is goes and almost get in a situation, get mugged, and he jumps into a trash can. And so he kind of saves stuff. And the same exact folks keep on pestering him, and sure enough, he gets cornered into a situation. And in the midst of all that happening, he sees something falling, and it seems to be getting closer and closer, almost like it's tracking him. And Robert gets hit and nailed with a freaking huge meteor. And after that, like, he's kind of left in the hospital. They don't know if he's going to recover, but he makes a miraculous recovery. But to what he finds is that every moment that he kind of touches like a book, he can memorize whatever it is. He can see through walls. He is super strong. And on top of that, he's got an excellent healing factor. But the biggest thing is that he's now put in a situation for the first time in his life that he has to stand up. And the thing that's amazing about Meteor Man as a film is he causes and inspires the whole neighborhood to stand up for what's right and to protect basically their future. This movie, to me, inspired me to want to direct. Not just because Robert Townsend is so talented, he's a Black man. I love superhero movies, right? Like, the first superhero movie I ever saw was 1989 Batman. And I mean, there's are two different spectrums of superhero films, but the essence behind it is so important to me. Because one, it's taking place in the city that I'm in now, but the biggest thing about it is it felt connectable. Like, it connected to me. Like, you know what's going on in the neighborhood, and you're put in a situation, you have powers. Of course, people that see power are going to want it to use where they will. If you look at Luke Cage, one of the reasons why Cottonmouth is such a good villain is because he didn't care whether or not Luke Cage was indestructible or not. Like, he's like, you're going to get taken out, and I'm going to not stop because you're trying to take what is mine. And the Golden Lords were the embodiment of that. Even though Meteor Man was technically indestructible and they couldn't stop him, didn't matter. Simon was like, you're going down. Shout out to Roy Fegan. He did a really good job in that role. But it's like, no matter how strong you are, not how gifted you are, you can't save everybody. One of the most epic lines in this one, he was kind of cornered and he was trying to go to city council meeting, and all of a sudden they just start shooting everywhere, and he tries to stop them, and he starts noticing like the bullets, he caught them all, but his hand is bleeding, so he's losing his powers, he's losing his ability to protect, because now on top of like trying to do the impossible, he knows that he can't be the impossible. And it's such an interesting paradigm shift from like, you know, oh, okay, you have powers and you're just gonna stuck with, like, no, like you only have one moment to make a difference. And what is that moment that you have? Like, will you let it slip through your fingers? The other thing about this movie is freaking hilarious. Like, the comedians in this, you got Eddie Griffin and you got John Witherspoon. You got Sinbad in here. Some of the moments in this are just comic gold, and this natural, like, 90s epic comic. Like, Marla Gibbs was cracking me up, like Cynthia Belgrave. Some of those scenes are really freaking hilarious, but they also come from a place of heart. Like, you don't feel like these people are just like being witty or bantery or just, you know, weird for no reason. Like, it all feels like it's coming from a sincere place. And like, I don't know, everything about this movie was just so important to me, because I looked at it from different dimensions. I looked at like the amazing grounded score, like when Meteor Man goes and he's kind of listening to the airwaves, and he goes and takes this terrible like dumpster area that his mom or his dad had been talking about for a while, and he goes and clears it in paint and like basically makes an amazing garden out of it to be able to help share food for the neighborhood. And they use like the waves talking about what it is, and they use an amazing score. Like, that's such a well-crafted, like, Robert was a visionary in the way that he sculpted that. I mean, even down to like the upbeat pace of music with this on that, like, Meteor Man ran so that movies like Into the Spider-Verse could actually work. And I think that the amount of Black excellence in this, and the way they use each character, like, each of these characters came, one way or another, were iconic in the way that they were actually told. I think they did a really good job, even with like some of the VFX, even though some of the stuff is spotty, and yeah, you could say the costume is cheap, but no, like, when I watched that, I was like, man, I want a Meteor Man costume. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. If I'll quote this now. If I get back into directing, if there's one superhero film that I want to remake, it is Meteor Man. I will talk to Robert and get his blessing and get his recommendations, but especially in the city that I'm in, I would love to recreate this. And this is easily one of my favorite superhero films, and I think it might be one of the best superhero comedy films that is grounded in something of Black excellence, and I think it's a classic. Any of these movies that I go through, I'm not going to give them a rating. I'm just going to tell you what they are, and I highly recommend you go and check out Meteor Man. One of my favorites of all times, and yeah, you're definitely going to love to watch it. And maybe you guys can watch some of these movies the next day and tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. All right? Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for also incorporating and connecting with me in celebration of Black History Month. Thank you guys so much. Peace, people.
Filing out the top of the I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.